When it comes to leadership, your personal ethics play a really large role in how you lead and how other people are going to perceive your leadership. The thing about being a leader is that you are an ethical example, whether you want to be or not. People expect you to act the way you expect them to act. For example, when I was and I think I've told this story in the past, but when I was a waitress in high school, my trainer ate the French fries that we had, and I wasn't supposed to, but because she was my ethical leader, I naturally followed her ethics. And I mean that's a really minor example, but sometimes ethics cover much more important and much bigger themes, and it's not as always as black and white or cut and dry as we might like it to be. It can be rather difficult, in fact. When it comes to our personal ethics, it's things that we've had in our life since childhood often. Things like the way we feel about other people, who we respect, our feelings on honesty and trustworthiness, fairness, what is fair and what's not. There's a movie Princess Bride, and one of my favorite quotes in it is, "Life's not fair, Highness, and anyone who tells you differently is trying to sell you something." Because life's just not fair, but then some people feel like it should be. Um, and that's the way that I see it. That's my personal ethics. And then there's sharing, when you should share, when you shouldn't need to share, prevention of harm. If it's my responsibility or somebody else, if it's their job to make sure that they don't get harm, that is all part of personal ethics. But regardless, your ethics will affect every aspect of your life. When you're applying your personal ethics to leadership, it's just naturally going to happen. And it's part of you showing your own humanity, and your maybe even your weakness in a good way. You when you're when it comes to ethics, you really need to be able to interpret messages, what people are sending, and what message you're sending through your ethics. When you are behaving according to your ethics, then that you're behaving by what's truly important to you, and so it's very difficult then to have any regrets because you're doing what you really believe. Um, just a natural ethic that you should have as a leader is patience and faith, and other in your own decisions. And when you're behaving by your ethics, again, you're naturally going to have faith in your decisions because again, you're doing what you really believe. And you should be behaving in a way that you're proud, whatever that might be. Um, Here's a good example of a dilemma, a gray area that's difficult. You have a huge exam for which you are very nervous. Your scholarship rests entirely on the exam. A custodian friend of yours has a key to your professor's office and offers to let you use it to retrieve a copy of the exam. What do? 4 options here. Tell your friend thanks but no thanks. Report your friend to the proper authorities. Accept the offer and keep it to yourself, or accept the offer and share it with friends. Now, everybody might choose a different thing here, and that's completely based on their ethics, but you will defend your choice based on your personal values. Here's an example of someone defending maybe some shady ethics.
When you're in government, there's a million ways to exploit your power. But ever given into that temptation? No, never. I'm not that kind of politician.
Official Parks and Rec business. Just need to grab quick hot dogs. Sorry about that, little girl. You can have the next one.
I have a moral code, and I never violate it. People look at me and they say, wow, Tom, you are so pure. You're like a brown Superman with a beard that just stands for justice and truth in the American way.
So there's Tom Haverford justifying his decisions based on his ethics. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to ethics, and especially in the gray areas. In professional ethics, this comes down to like an organization's honor code or their beliefs and values, their mission statement often. But when it comes down, it's talking about how you treat your clients, how you treat other agencies, how you treat organizations, with concern for their well-being. Every organization has a code of ethics. You get hired in a job and you sign a code of ethics. Every university has a school of ethics. Every college has a code of ethics, and you assign it. You sign it, and there are different types of professional ethics. This can include your dress code. It can include your language. It can include your concern for other people's families and how they're involved. Every organization has a different code of ethics. specific to the beliefs and desires and mission of that organization. Often when it comes to ethics, it's a dilemma between two rights. Overcoming those dilemmas, you can overcome them by asking yourself, kind of testing through 4 tests. One is the end result ethics. Does the end justify the means? Kind of the one of the common challenges there is that it's for a good cause, so it's okay. And if that end result ethic passes your test, your personal test, then that's okay. Rules ethics, the organization's relevant policies and procedures. Organization's values, unwritten social contracts that might play a role in whether or not a decision will be right or wrong. And then last but not least, your personal conviction. Is this something you can live with? And that will affect whether or not you make that decision, you make that choice or not. This comes in handy when you're dealing with multiple loyalties to companies that you have a loyalty to, or when you're hiding things that maybe you're not sure is right to hide, or when it comes to the idea of integrity and nobody will ever know, ever. So why not do it? Or everybody else is doing it, so why not? Those are common challenges that you'll face, and you can make your decision based on these 4 tests for overcoming dilemmas. On a global level, leisure has ethics as well. Obviously, when it comes to respecting international laws and customs, global justice, social responsibility, and stewardship, particularly natural stewardship, are all part of global ethics. The main thing to think about when it comes to ethics is I already talked about this a little bit, but the importance of your example. People will rank, this is part of a survey, people will rank the importance of various individuals influencing their ethical conduct, and absolute number 1 before anything else was the behavior of their superiors. So if their leaders behave a certain way, then they will behave that way. And vice versa, if their leaders don't behave a certain way, then they won't either. Your behavior as a leader is paramount in how the people that you oversee will behave as well. Principled leadership is kind of the idea of leading with a good set of ethics. And the 4 main areas of principled leadership are personal, which is trustworthiness, how well you're trustworthy. Interpersonal, and this is how much you trust others. Managerial, which is empowerment, how much you delegate and help other people grow. And then organizational, which is alignment. You make sure that everybody is given their correct responsibilities and the correct opportunities. Some characteristics that would also follow someone who is a principled leader would be someone who's self-aware, someone who's purposeful in what they do. They are constantly learning and growing. They are service-oriented and positive, believe in others. They are balanced in their life, a work-life balance. They're adventurous. They're not afraid to do things that would be out of the norm or out of the box. They have synergy. They're sensitive to the needs of others, and they're flexible if need be. Those are all important and useful characteristics to take into consideration if you want to be a principled leader. And again, this is all personal, and so you do need to figure out how your personal principled leadership would look, because it is a personal experience.